What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, and today, some unfortunate news as MLB owners have officially locked out the players as of 12:01 a.m. on Wednesday night / Thursday morning. The collective bargaining agreement between the two sides has expired, and players are no longer allowed to interact with their team. So it is the first labor stoppage in a really long time for Major League Baseball. And so this video is all about what happened, how did we get here, and for us specifically, what does this mean for the Dodgers? So how did we get here first? Well, it depends on who you ask. MLB released a statement last night from Rob Manfred, and here's part of what it says. Quote, "Simply put, we believe that an off-season lockout is the best mechanism to protect the 2022 season. We hope that the lockout will jumpstart negotiations and get us to an agreement that will allow the season to start on time. This defensive lockout was necessary because the Players Association vision for Major League Baseball would threaten the ability of most teams to be competitive. It's simply not a viable option. From the beginning, the MLBPA has been unwilling to move from their starting position, compromise, or collaborate on solutions." So as you can tell, everybody's getting along great, right? MLBPA, they said this, quote, "It was the owner's choice, plain and simple, specifically calculated to pressure players into relinquishing rights and benefits and abandoning good faith bargaining proposals that will benefit not just players, but the game and industry as a whole." So there you go. I mean, this is classic labor work stoppage stuff. Again, it's the first work stoppage since 1990. That was the last time there was a lockout. There was a player strike in 1994. So this leads to the obvious question of, well, what does everybody want? What do the players want that the owners are unwilling to compromise on, and vice versa? The players want folks to be able to reach free agency quicker. They want to get arbitration more quickly, according to Jeff Passan. Basically, they want to get paid more and they want to get paid quicker. Rather than hitting free agency as a 31-year-old, they want guys like Chris Taylor, for example, to be able to hit free agency as a 25-year-old, a 26-year-old, a 27-year-old, rather than on the wrong side of their prime. Corey Seager is the exception to the rule, the 27-year-old right in their prime who reaches, he cashes in. The Major League Baseball Players Association wants more of that. They also want some rules in place to push back against tanking like the Orioles and the Pirates have done, making no interest in signing players or being competitive. That's what the players want. The owners, the league, I would imagine they just kind of want the status quo. They're making tons of money right now. The way the things are working are going well for them. So they want that. There are talks of wanting to expand the postseason to 14 teams. That would obviously increase the money that they would make from playoffs. So that's one thing. So the next question, how long will this last? This is the part nobody knows. Reading up on some of this stuff, there's no real deadline. Of course, both sides don't want to miss games because then players aren't getting paid and owners aren't making revenue. And so Jesse Sanchez on ESPN.com, he speculates February 1st is kind of a loose deadline because once you get past February 1st without a new collective bargaining agreement, then camps can't really open on time, spring training doesn't start on time, and there's some money involved there. So I would say nobody is in a major rush over the next 2 months, but to get things done before February 1st would be the ideal. So lastly, how does this impact the Dodgers? Of course, they signed Chris Taylor right before the lockout was instituted. So Chris Taylor is officially a member of the Dodgers. Now, if you go to MLB.com or any team site, you won't see faces of any of these guys because they can't profit off of the faces, the name, image, likeness of their players because right now they're locked out. So that's fascinating. But how does this impact the Dodgers? I mean, Freddie Freeman did not sign. Clayton Kershaw did not sign. So Chris Bryant did not sign. Carlos Rodon did not sign. So as far as how it impacts the Dodgers, it impacts them about the same as everybody else. Nobody can do anything. There's no roster moves. There's no trades. There's no signings. None of that will happen until a new collective bargaining agreement is reached. And once there is a new deal reached, then the Dodgers presumably will get back to being more aggressive. Freddie Freeman was a guy that they were connected to on the closing hours right before the lockout. Is that a guy that he could potentially come back to the Dodgers and re-engage in talks afterwards? We'll see. Does it benefit the Braves that he hasn't signed yet? Many people seem to think that if the Dodgers had a chance, maybe it would have had to have been sort of an impulse decision before the lockout. That didn't happen. They'll get clarity on Clayton Kershaw and his health, so in some ways that's good news. Let him rest, let him figure out where his arm is at before having to sign him to a contract. So lots of interesting things, and who knows, at the collective bargaining agreement, does the luxury tax change? Do the penalties change? Does it hurt a big spending team like the Dodgers, as some people speculate it might? To be determined. So as of now, there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of unknown other than the fact we know the players and the owners do not agree. They apparently do not like each other. We know when they had to negotiate about the 2020 season, it was not a smooth process. And so we'll see. We don't know. we'll see how this impacts the Dodgers, how it impacts players, whether or not it gets ugly between players. Players start making quotes in the media, to be determined. So stay here. Dodger Blue 1958 on YouTube. Subscribe, ring the notification bell. Check DodgerBlue.com for all the latest. We'll have any update that comes there as well. We appreciate you joining us, and we will talk to you soon.